Hello and welcome to Peak Flicks. My name is Mr. Lepore, and I'll be working alongside you all throughout the summer on a variety of math skills. Each day we'll be working on a small fluency component, and right after that, we'll take a look at a variety of different topics throughout the fourth grade math curriculum that we think will be beneficial to you to sharpen up on in order to prepare for everything that's to come. In addition, we're going to make sure to remind you that every day you need to make sure that your top right circle in our reflex math program is fully green inside and out. All right, so let's get started on today's lesson. We are going to start off every lesson with our fluency component. So what we've done is we've made some digital flashcards here that are going to go over our 2 times table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you the math fact, and I'm going to give you about a second to call it out on your end. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the answer. So let's see if you can get it before I do. 2 times 5 equals 10. 4 times 2 equals 8. 8 times 2 equals 16. 2 times 7 equals 14. 1 times 2 equals 2. 9 times 2 equals 18. 2 times 3 equals 6. And 2 times 6 equals 12. Awesome job today going through that. Remember, we have a few strategies we could use when using our 2 times tables. We can skip count by 2, or we can make sure that we've studied our multiplication facts and memorized all of them. And we could always improve by continuing our work on reflex math at the end of our time here together. That work is so important and fundamental to your continued success. Today, our first lesson will be on place value. This is the perfect place to start, as place value is one of the fundamentals to mathematics. Let's take a look at our place value chart right here below. We're going to focus on the ones, the thousands, and the millions. For fourth grade, we don't need to know too much about the billions place. So let's take a look and count forward. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. Each time I move one place value over, so from the ones to the tens, I'm increasing the value by 10 times as many. Same if I went from the 10,000s to the 100,000s. Every time I move from the right to the left, I increase the value of my number, and to be specific, I increase it by 10 times the amount. Now, when I'm writing my numbers in standard form, I notice that there's some commas down here. So an easy trick to help me remember where my commas go is I always count 1, 2, 3, comma. So if I have a 4-digit number like 4,237, I would write it and then I'd make sure I have my comma exactly where it needs to be by counting 1, 2, 3, comma. Same here. If I had a number all the way out to the millions place, I'd need 2 commas. I would count 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Let's use this place value chart and our knowledge of 10 times greater to help answer and review a couple questions. So, Matthew has 30 stamps in his collection. Matthew's father has 10 times as many stamps as Matthew. How many stamps does Matthew's father have? Use numbers or words to explain how you got your answer. So, I'm going to underline all my key numbers that I see, and I'm going to box any keywords that might help me decide what I have to do, and I'm going to circle the question so that I know specifically what I have to answer. Ooh, there's that key number we just spoke about when we reviewed our place value chart. 10 times as many. How many stamps does Matthew's father have? So I've underlined my key numbers. I've boxed my key words that Matthew's father has 10 times as many, and I've circled the question. I'm going to use a place value chart to help me answer this. I could easily draw a place value chart, nice and simple, and really quickly whenever I need to. This is really helpful for a lot of things, but today we're just going to focus on place value. So here I have the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, and I have the thousands place. So in order to differentiate this T from the T in the tens place, I'm going to put TH for thousands. Matthew has 30 stamps. So I'm going to represent that with 3 circles in the tens place. Each circle here represents 10. Each circle has a value of 10. So here I have 10, 20, and 30. That is exactly what Matthew has in his collection. Now, if Matthew's father has 10 times as many, I know that when I go from one place from the right to the left, that my value increases by 10 times. So if I go from the tens to the hundreds, we just said this, but we'll say it again because our magic number is 10. Our value increases by 10 times the amount. So each one of these tens will be relocated to the hundreds place because each one will represent 10 times more, and it will represent what Matthew's father has. So I would get 100, 200, 300. So Matthew's dad has 300 stamps because 300 is 10 times more than 30. Let's take a look at that using our multiplication. 30 times 10 is the same way as saying 10 times as many as 30. Okay? So 0 times 0 is 0. I'm going to show you the standard algorithm. So 0 times 0 is 0, and 0 times 3 is 0. We should also know anything times 0 is 0. I'm going to cross this off here and use it as a placeholder as I now use my 1 to multiply. 1 times 0 is 0, but 1 times 3 gets me 3. So my answer when I add it up is 300. Okay, so let's take a look at our next problem. It's very, very similar. So let's see if we could find some things that helped us in the last problem in order to help us answer this problem. Jane saved $800. Nice job, Jane. Way to go. Her sister has 10 times as much money. There's that word again. 10 times as much or 10 times as many. And if we thought Jane had a lot of money, her sister has more, 10 times as much. How much money does Jane's sister have? Well, we're about to find out. So there's 2 ways that we could do this. All right, we could use a place value chart again, and let's draw that up quickly, right? We have our ones, we have our tens, we have our hundreds, and we have our thousands. Further along, we'd have our 10,000s, then our 100,000s, then our millions place, okay? So if Jane saved $800, I'm going to represent that using 8 circles in the hundreds place. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, and 800. So each circle represents 100. So in total, that represents the amount Jane has saved. Now, while using a place value chart, we know that every time you go from the right to the left, your value increases by 10 times. So I'm going to use this to represent the 10 times more money that Jane's sister has saved. Each circle in the hundreds will now be turned into a circle in the thousands because this jump represents 10 times as many. So let's take a closer look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Jane's sister has saved $8,000. Let's see how I could use multiplication to help me represent this answer too. 800 times 10. Sometimes we could use the zeros trick here, but I'm going to show you the standard way of how to multiply. Anything times 0 is 0. So 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 8 is 0. Now that I'm done with this 0 in the ones place, I'm going to cross it out and I'm going to put it right here as a placeholder to represent the value of the ones place. And now I'm going to start multiplying by my 1 here. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. And 1 times 8 is 8. Making my answer 8,000. 1, 2, 3, comma. Just like we spoke about in our place value chart before. Great job today with place value, everybody. Let's always remember to use our place value chart whenever we can, and I'm looking forward to working with you more the rest of the summer. Also, make sure that you're getting onto your Reflex Math account that you could log in through Clever every single day when we're done with our math work here. You'll know you're done when the top right corner of your screen shows that your circle is fully green. Enjoy.